Okay, let's start about this question that is related to managing stakeholder resistance. Sometimes you find some stakeholders resist always. So the question says, what is an example of an action the project manager should take to proactively manage a stakeholder's resistance to change? So as project manager, you have to manage such resistance from the stakeholders to make sure that you execute the work according to the scope of work agreed in the contract document. So my answer is D, that is, conduct workshops with resistant stakeholders, providing more information about the project's objectives while highlighting the project benefits. This I extensively practiced when I was doing the Maldives International Airport. I will give you a couple of examples of that as well. So best answer is conduct workshops with resistant stakeholders, providing more information about the project's objectives while highlighting the project benefits. This is the most appropriate answer because it is proactive, collaborative, and stakeholder focused. A project manager should try to understand resistance early, engage people directly, explain the reason for change, and build buy-in. You must buy them in. Workshops do that better than the other options. So why the answer D is the best? It helps the project manager address concerns before they become bigger problems. Explain why the change is happening. Show benefits to the stakeholder. Create involvement instead of forcing compliance. So that is very consistent with PMP thinking. What the PMP thinking is, engage stakeholders early, communicate early, and reduce resistance through involvement of those resisting stakeholders. If I think of the second best answer, it is A, is the closest alternative, but it is weaker. Informing stakeholders about risks and issues is useful, but it is mostly one-way communication. It may sound like pressure. Accept this change or bad things happen. I'm sure that you may have done that already to your stakeholders. Don't do that. That usually does not reduce resistance as effectively as discussion and engagement. Onnang kapang epa nang kapang wage weda karanna epa. Why the others are not the best? Let us see B, answer B, is too indirect and maybe premature. Setting up a working group and changing scope is not the first step when resistance appears. First, the project manager should engage and understand the resistance, why they are resisting. Understand the root cause of the problem of your stakeholder. Then only you can find solutions. Answer C is also not good. C is clearly too late. Gather post-go live feedback and apply the lessons learned on the next project. It's too late. So post-go live feedback helps future projects, yes, but it does not proactively manage resistance in the current project. If I take a simple industry example, in a construction project, workers may resist a new digital site inspection app. Nowadays, everybody is using the digital site inspection apps. Those days, we used to submit the paper as an inspection document, giving the checklist, giving the location, giving the work description, giving the references of all the specifications, drawings, etc. But nowadays you have digital apps. So the best action is to turn a short workshop showing how it saves time. You must run a workshop with your stakeholders and then educate them. Rather than you using the hard copy, you can easily use the soft copy because you click the soft copy, the link to find the drawing even, specification section even. So you have everything at your fingertips. So you refer to these things and while inspecting, you check whether it is done or not. That's more efficient. That works better than only warning them about risk of not using it. There's no point warning if you don't use the digitalized techniques, you will be obsolete and all this is no use. Now let me take a hospital project here. Nurses may resist a new patient record system, but a workshop where the project manager and trainers explain the goal, show the benefits, and answer concerns is more effective than just sending a message saying the change is mandatory. Who cares? But if you educate them, they will understand the advantages that they can take and they will try to make their life easy. Now, even in manufacturing industry, machine operators may resist a new quality check process, but a workshop lets them see how the new process reduces rework and improves safety, which creates support more effectively than waiting until after implementation. So I hope it is very clear. When I was doing the Maldives International Airport, we were the contractor, I mean design and build contractor. So we developed the design. We arranged the procurement. We arranged the construction. For that, when we signed the contract agreement, we agreed these are the employer's requirements. We do procurement according to the employer's requirements. Employer says, I want only Otis. Okay, we comply with Otis because at that time we price with Otis. So it is important that you meet the stakeholder requirements and the contract document what you agreed and signed. Now, to make our life easy, we divide the design development process into a couple of stages. First, we said concept design. So we produce the concept. Actually, when we are bidding for this Maldives International Airport, we propose the basis on which that we develop the design to cater for 7.26 million passengers per year in 2030. We gave all the 3D models, we gave all our schedule data, we gave all our design drawings because we developed that our own design drawings based on the Thai say design, which was the basis for us to do the bid. So, having explained our basis, we develop first concept design. And having developed the concept design, we gave concept design documents to all the stakeholders. We gave them 2 weeks. Okay, you guys review these documents and we always submit something called compliance statement where we say what is agreed in the contract and how we comply with that. So that compliance statement, they can check it. And then we conduct a workshop after 2 weeks. To that workshop, everybody who is involved in that particular project, now We are a contractor, but airport operators are there for the Maldives International Airport for a long time. So we invited them to attend this workshop. We asked them to review our design documents. We told them, if you find anything wrong, you better highlight now. Don't tell us that it is wrong after we finish the design. No, you tell us now. So what happened was, during this workshop, they started discussing things that is not there, this is not there, I used to do like this, I used to do like this. We listen to them. We record all that. And after that, we responded. It's an Excel sheet. Item number, item description, concern of the stakeholder, from which department the stakeholder is, and what he is suggesting, and what we could do. So when you complete that particular Excel sheet, it will be very clear that this guy is asking something which is not within the scope of work of the contract. Okay, fine, you can ask that, but you must give that instructions through the authorized representative so that we have the right to claim. Otherwise, we will not do it. You are not Almighty God. We have signed a contract for 357 million US dollars, and our scope of work is very well defined. Our design is very well defined. So if you want anything more, we are prepared to do so at an additional cost. This was our argument. So workshops will allow you to discuss with your stakeholders and to meet their requirements as well as the project requirements. If there's anything outside the project requirements, then you go for the variations. So that is schematic design. Sorry, this is concept design. After concept design, we develop, considering their comments on the workshop of concept design, the next stage, that is schematic design. Now, the schematic design, we give more details, we elaborate more things, and we suggested them, these are the procurement lines we are thinking of. You better comment, you better review. So like that, we develop schematic design. And then we asked them to review it for 2 weeks. And after that, again, we had a workshop. Now, when we had the workshop, we get the schematic design approved with their comments. Now, with their comments, we separate out what is within the scope, what is out of scope. And within the scope, we continued developing the detailed design. But out of the scope, we asked them to give the instructions and then we will make it. So like that, even detailed design, we did all our documentation. Again, we distribute that to the stakeholders and then got them to comment and we got it approved. And then only we issued the documents for construction. Until such time, we were developing things with the stakeholders, with the consent of stakeholders, what is in scope and what is out of scope. And for out of scope, we secured our variation claim rights. So this is how you should manage a project. I don't think in Sri Lanka it is happening, but this is what PMBOK says. You do the design development like this, and I'll give you one Excel sheet after some time, which will show you what we discussed and what we proposed. Actually, when I was making the proposal for visual docking guiding system, there were two systems, laser or image technology. I go with image technology, but the MACL guy who is in charge of this passenger boarding bridges, he was insisting, no, you go with the laser technology. I said, give me the reasons. Then I compared his proposal against my proposal for using the imaging technology. Because imaging technology is the latest technology that we have in the world. Why the hell you go with the laser? Of course, laser also has some advantages. So then the stakeholder was convinced what Nihal is saying is right. It's not me, Nihal, who did it. I told you, that I am not a specialist of airport systems, but I give my design to third party. They review and say, these are the good things, these are the bad things. So I always go with the advice of the experts. Having taken that expert advice, we managed to do a proper design. So that is the importance of these workshops. So because of that, I selected answer D, conduct workshops with resistant stakeholders, providing more information about the project objectives while highlighting the project benefits. Really, we are educating them because not everybody is technically qualified to understand what we say, but we have to educate them, unfortunately. That is our job. So we did that and we managed to get the approvals. I told you I took 40 million US dollars additional cost for the change in facade. So this type of things can be done. Thank you. Hope it is very clear.